Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Doc Severson with 12-Minute Trading. Today is Monday, the 15th of July. What an extraordinary weekend. And we're seeing that unfurl into the markets today with quite a strong move. In fact, an almost unstoppable move so far. We'll see whether or not we will close lower on the day. There is certainly the possibility that we could have a sell the news announcement, because the market's just about got everything it wants. This morning, Jerome Powell was talking about potentially not waiting until 2% to start to cut rates. And I think there's some pressure on that person and that body to start to bring down the debt payments from the current levels. Okay, hang on a second. So we're just gonna run a short session today with 12-minute trading. I think Dave is on the road, and we will take any questions that you have. If you have any questions, go for it today. And we'll probably be done about quarter till the hour or so. So we're going to run for about 15 minutes, and then we'll get into it. All right, so I'm going to park myself down in the corner, and we are going to get started here. So I'm going to look at the S&P 500. First of all, give me a second here. I want to mute things. We're going to get started with the S&P 500, and we're going to look at the monthly, weekly, and daily. So here's the monthly. The monthly is strong trend to the upside into exhaustion, which means that at some point we are going to have some kind of reaction to that. But we can't wait on that because the market continues to go higher. Weekly chart into exhaustion. At some point very soon, we should start to see a similar move. Now, last year at this time, we just kept on going. It just blew through this reaction. And a lot of times this is what we will see when coming out of a bear market, is we will see an extraordinarily strong, especially a wave 3 move like this one, which just completely rolls over all of the shorts. So from here, who knows how long this is going to go? Who knows how long this is going to go for today? And we also have daily exhaustion down here. We also have daily exhaustion. So we're going to anticipate that at some point here. Now, I thought we had this beginning on Thursday, but that was, look at these movements that we've had. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, we had a big bearish engulfing candle, and I thought the beginning of the correction had started. And it was apparently not to be. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, I'm Doc here. I'm going to be running solo today for about the next maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. Get your questions in if you want to, if you're live. Otherwise, if you're watching this on a replay, let me know what you'd like to see for next week. And then Friday was actually an extremely strong day to the upside, which did not make sense to, I think, most people because of the PPI came in strong. And then today we have the results of the weekend, which are trying to be priced into the market right now. A little bit of certainty came into the market over the weekend with the loss of a piece of ear. Very unusual. Okay, so looking at that now, what we are seeing is perhaps the great rotation, because we've seen the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ has been the donor here. So even though we're slightly higher today, we're going to see, I think, the NASDAQ go pretty choppy. If we look out here at the NASDAQ, we're seeing some of the Mag 7 up, like Apple is up today. We are seeing, let's see, where do we have our Google twins? Google is slightly up today. Now, let's see, Meta. Meta is flat for the day. Right now, Meta is flat for the day, and then we have what's really strong today is Tesla. Tesla is extremely strong for today. So that's what's going on today. So we still have some of the Mag 7 doing quite well. Today. Okay. what I'm expecting to see is the Dow. I'm expecting to see the Dow start to take on, and we are seeing this today. Look at the Dow has started to break above 40,000. And this is where the strength is coming in this market. So it's taking some of this NASDAQ money and it's breaking higher from here. So are we going to continue to see this? Well, maybe, because we have a lot of energy. So this is the big potential here, is that the Dow has been set up for this move. And to me, this is very similar to what we see strong off the bottom, sideways into the consolidation, and then breaking to a parabolic high. This is typically what we see in a market move. Strong off the bottom, sideways through there, and breaking to a parabolic high. All right. Tom is asking, we'd love to get your thoughts on the relative outperformance of the IWM versus the other indices, touching on it a bit now. Okay, so I have yet to get to the Russell. The Russell's coming next. So the Russell has, if you think about it, what we talked about last week, and I think this is where Dave goes heavily into the fundamentals, is that the market was waiting for some kind of relief when it comes to interest rates. And I think Thursday's CPI was the first real glimpse into perhaps some relief, as well as some of the comments made by Powell recently about dropping interest rates. So we've started to see a September rate cut be seriously, I mean, right now we're sitting at about a 90+% probability of some type of easing in September, which I'll believe it when I see it. But think about all the small cap companies that are out there. They're all running off of debt. And so if interest rates drop for them, that significantly impacts their bottom line. This is why the Russell has broken out so strongly over the last couple of days. So look at this break from a triangle pattern here, just amazing. So range contraction leads to range expansion, and away goes the Russell. Now this may not be done yet, may have a long way to go based on what we have on the weekly chart and also on the monthly chart. So the monthly chart is looking good. We still have an uptrend, believe it or not, on the monthly chart. So even though we've sort of given up on doing TA and the Russell for months now, because it's just been in this sort of strange range, we might start to see money rotate into the Russell. So this is what we've been looking for a long time, is that the NASDAQ has been overperforming for the longest period of time. And now with potentially a tipping point on rates, we might start to see money going into some of the, especially when you look at, we could see money going into energy as well too, because we may be getting into the world of drill baby drill once again. So this is the market pricing in the results of the election already, months away. This is the way the market does it. And unfortunately, what I'm concerned about is that once we get into 2025 and the torch is passed, if that is what happens, we may be in a condition where it could be a massive sell the news arrangement. We could have everything, all the good news over the subsequent years priced in by the time the year ticks over. So that is my concern. But you never know exactly how this is going to play out. Never know exactly how this is going to play out. So looking at today's intraday price action, this is kind of interesting. What we are seeing is, and we've seen this like 5 days in a row now, we're getting a decently quiet opening range, and then we get into the 10 o'clock hour, and the market just takes off. And we once again had one of these. So I was in these the zero DTEs, and was initially started with this one, and then had to go to a double iron fly, which is what we call the Devil's Tower hedge. And so I was able to get out of this one before a third iron fly was required, and the price actually did go far enough to require one. Okay, yeah, so we got some trades firing here. So anybody have any questions? That's kind of what I'm seeing in the market right now. So don't fall in love with the move that we're seeing right now, because we could come to a grinding halt here just about any day. We could see this start to, and even today's candlestick is a little bit sketchy, with a very small body and a large upper wick. So we'll know a little bit more by the time that we get to 3 o'clock. But watch out for right now. The overhead anchored VWAP is acting as resistance and has been resistant since noontime. So this is the pink line here is showing the average weighted. The anchored VWAP is the volume weighted average price. And so it is now being resistance. So think of it as our dynamic support and resistance level during the day. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing, guys. We will see some big moves. We've seen a big jump in the ATR over the last couple of days. Big jump in the ATR. Starting to go significantly higher. We got pretty quiet ATR here. We got pretty quiet movement, especially this consolidation. And then we started to see this really jump up over the past 4 days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now Monday, we're starting to see much bigger range in the candles. And I guess you could even go back to last week with this, but we've seen really since the CPI that we had there, some pretty big moves here in the market. Okay, I'll stick around for another question or two if you guys have any. If you guys have any questions, one thing to keep in mind is that right now the VIX is extremely low. The VIX is extremely low. Now we're starting to see this come off the bottom just a little bit, but this would be the time to set up perhaps if you want to maybe buy something for the next 2-3 months out to the downside. That could either be long puts or it could be some type of put spread that you can set up, and maybe even right time against it. That's something that we do in my trading room, is what we call the campaign diagonals. But set up something to the downside where you can take advantage, because you will never, ever time a downside correction. Spotting the top has been the very most difficult thing that I do. Okay. Well, nothing else seen. I think we've got through today's session. I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what I'm seeing here. Okay, there I got one from Jungle Cat. Any thoughts on why the VIX is going up today despite the fact that all indices are significantly green? Well, it's kind of what I'm seeing is you will see divergences in the VIX well before anything else. So if you look at, here's a good example of one. So as we got through the end of 2023, we started to see a positive divergence in the VIX. Now, what happened? We started off the year in 2024 with some downside movement on the S&P. It didn't last for very long, but you can see this divergence level. So I am seeing another divergence here. This is called a positive divergence on the VIX. So watch out for these. I mean, you can go back and study some of these if you look back on some of the bigger moves over time. Let's see if there was one into the end of let's see if there's one into the end of 2021. I think there was. Well, there was kind of one here as we started out 2022, but look for positive divergences on the VIX, because to your point, Jungle Cat, is typically that's what you will see, is you'll start to see the VIX creeping up. Somebody always knows something, right? Somebody that's about to make some big moves. They don't want to move it all that much, but this game is all about institutions getting retail to do what they want to do. This game is all about institutions setting up rallies that they can sell into, that they don't move the market against themselves. They will do whatever is necessary to get retail to kind of crack the whip. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thanks for checking in here and bringing up some questions. Be happy to see you guys next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks, everybody. You guys take care.